Hello, my name is Julian Braxton. Welcome to Rear View Ahead. I am elated to have as my very special guest, the one and only Tony DeBenedictis, the proprietor of Tony's Market in Roslindale, Massachusetts. Tony's world is filled with family, love, and good food. The Boston Globe calls him the happiest man in Roslindale. Please join me in welcoming Tony to Rear View Ahead. I would like to begin at the beginning, and that is I was reading a little bit about your personal journey. Tell us the story about your early childhood.
Well, I don't know. What do you want me to tell about my early childhood? It was a war when I was born, the beginning of the war, Second World War.
Tell me, So tell me about what was it like growing up at that time?
Well, it wasn't easy. You know, at the end of the war, it was not much of anything. The country had to be rebuilt. There was no electricity, no water. It was a little tough, but it was the way it was for everybody. So it was a way of living. That's the way it was. And, of course, I'm growing up, but in Italy it's different. Kids grow up pretty much on the street. Everybody knows everybody. In a town, everybody watches everybody. Let's put it this way. I remember when we had like a movie theater, used to play the movie a couple of times a week. And we didn't have any money to get in. And a lot of times we hanging around and tried to sneak in, and the owner used to say to his wife, watch those kids. But then when the movie started, nobody else was coming. He wanted to make sure everybody get the seats, the people that pay. Then he let us get in for nothing. That's when we were 9, 10 years old. That's the way it was. And of course, then in the 50s, things slowly start to move. Things are going the right direction. But that's when a lot of people left the country because, people used to go to school and like to become teachers or whatever, but was no jobs. And people moved, a lot of the young people in the 50s moved out of the country. And I came to this country in 1958.
You came in 1958. Before you talk about coming to this country, tell me a little bit about the importance of your family. Family, I know, was a very important part of your upbringing. How important? Yeah.
We were 9 brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
We had a big farm and we're doing well financially, better than most of the people in the town. But still, they look like a future for all 9 kids. So when my father came into this country in 1955, I figured, well, let's see to a better future. Came in this country in 55 and with the one sister mine. And then the rest of the family, beside the 2 sisters, because they were married, they couldn't come anymore, according to the immigration laws. Then the rest of the family came with my mother, 1958.
1958. Now,
Yeah.
one of the stories that you've had an opportunity to share with me and some other people that have had the opportunity to visit your shop is the story of when you first heard and fell in love with opera music. Would you talk about that?
Well, that was at the end of the war. In Italy, they have like a feast in the town, like they have the North End. They carry a saint around, and they usually they hired an orchestra, to play opera. I never heard any music. There was no electricity. So the end of the war, I think in 1944, probably, my father took me, I was 5 years old, 5.5. And my father took me to the feast. And I heard the orchestra was playing Aida.
Mm.
I still remember.
Mm.
I was stunned. And I fell in love with opera.
You fell in love after hearing it at that point.
Opera. And then how do I become a ballroom dancer? Well, because was no money, nothing else to do. Well, we had a big house and a lot of cousins so much older than me. So then my father and mine, they used to organize dance at our house. You know, young people used to come over. And because I was after 4 girls, my sister's friends used to grab me. He says, come on, let's dance. I was 10, 11. And then when I was 13, 14, I started to organize the dance. You know, they get involved with the dance and do something. And when I came to this country, I was 19. I went to dance right away. And I saw, it used to be Mausolees in Durham, Mausolees on the Charles, the oldest ballroom in the country, which don't exist anymore now because it was just sold. I realized that good dancing guys were surrounded by the best looking girls. And I say, I'll be a good dancer. And I became a good dancer.
And your passion for ballroom dancing and opera are still a part of your identity. Every time I go, yes.
Always will be.
Always will be.
Always will be. I listen to opera pretty often. You know, I watch on TV sometimes. I pick the opera that I want to watch and I watch it. You know, it always will be. Ballroom dance, of course.
So when I think about Tony, I think about opera, I think about ballroom dancing, and then of course I think about your amazing work in your shop as a butcher. Could you talk to me a little bit about how you became a first-class butcher and started this shop in Roslindale that people from all over the country come to visit your shop, right?
First, when I was young, I had two ambitions. First, I wanted to be an opera conductor because I loved opera. But my father says the musician all day poor. So then I was in school. I was in the classical schools in Italy, and I wanted to be a lawyer. But even now, if there's some movies about lawyers, I'm fascinated. I still watch it. But then I was here. I came to this country and I worked as a piece of work in a factory as a stitcher. I worked for 5 years, men's clothing, women clothing. As you know, you get paid as much as you make it, and I was very fast. But then, I wanted to go in business, didn't matter what kind. Just go in business. I was getting bored to do what I was doing. I know I could do better than that. And it was November 11, 1963. I get up in the morning. They told me it was a store in East Dedham Square for sale. I went there, bought a store. Never walked into a mid-market or grocery store before in my life.
Wow.
Now, hey, I own a store. It's either you learn or you shut the door. And I learned. I mean, I had breaks. See, I had this Mikada, a good Mikada, but a lousy salesman, and I wasn't making any money on him, so I let him go. And I was honest until the woman used to come shop years ago. The man, you don't see man, and I used to tell her, I'm learning, and they worked with me. But then in 1969, the urban renewal came to East Dedham Square. So they pay me, I could have a store there, but, I took the money and I bought the store on Roslindale Square. And the guy that sold me the store, John Del Corey, he was 65 years old, and he was a great butcher. He said, I'll be with you for a couple of weeks. And if you think you need me, I'll stay with you. Well, he stayed with me until he died, 80 years old.
Wow. Wow.
So we worked like a father-son, he worked like it was his own store. I respect him like a father. And from him, I learned how to cut meat well,
Mm.
because he was a gummy cutter. And the rest is pretty much history. And then everything's how much as you want to learn, it's how much you're interested. You only can do the job two ways, right away or wrong way. That's all. There's no other way.
But I would agree with you. There's probably the right way and the wrong way. But how do you become a business that people throughout the country come to you to be to get the best meats in the country? I mean,
Well,
how does it how it's
first of
successful?
all, I love people. I'm honest. I love to make people happy. That makes me happy. I always believe carry good product, because there's always people who want good product. Sometimes you pay a little more, but it's worth it. And that's what happened, because I always believe in good product. Then what else is there? You're giving people good product in business, in the food business. Two things are important. Giving good product to people, it really with respect. That's it. It's simple. And people come back. I'm not
Keep
afraid.
coming back.
I never felt if somebody over next to me or across the street, I felt threat by. No, I never felt threat by any store that opened up. I always said, in food business, you're in competition with yourself.
Mm.
You do the right thing, you don't have to worry about it. If you do the wrong things, you have to worry about it. That's what I believed all the time. And also worked. You do, you make it, whatever you want to do. You want to make your first dollar and you get out of there, or you just want to, do the right thing for the people, for yourself, for your name. That's all.
Could you tell me some stories about people coming to your business, and how they have expressed their appreciation for you? I know that I was in the shop just on Saturday, and there was a couple that one from Pittsburgh and the person from New Jersey talking about finding you. Tell me some of the stories about some of your customers that you've worked with over the years.
What do you mean, the customer?
Yes, some of the things the customers have said about you.
Well, the people come in the last few years, a lot of people moved to Roslindale and
Yes.
bought a house, and the parents come from all over the country. They come in the store. A lot of the people sometimes before they go back home, they buy sausages and take it on with them because they taste it. It's this guy that the daughter lives in the area, and he's from Chicago, and all the time he comes and buys sirloin steaks. He says Chicago's supposed to be the headquarters of the meat pie, the meat. He says, but never tasted anything like this. So, people from Texas, they taste the steaks or ribeyes or sirloin, whatever. It's the best they ever had it. It's because it's a good product.
Quality is the answer. The product is the answer.
Yeah, I know. I've been in business now, will be 59 years.
Wow.
Because you learn the product. And you see what the response of the people, and I taste pretty much everything that I sell in the store. Like all the Italian product from Italy on the cold cuts, I taste it. And the meat, of course, I love meat myself, and I cook it, and I see how it is. And I buy according to my taste.
What advice do you have for people that are entering a business today? You have been in business for over 50 years. You continue to be strong in your business. What advice do you have for newcomers? So many businesses end within the first few years, and you have a lot of wisdom to share about opening a business. What wisdom would you like to share with my viewers?
It's a lot of things involved, much more than the people would think. First of all, if you're going to go in retail business, any business, you have to like to be with people. You have to be a people person. And otherwise, you don't belong in there. You're not going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
They say, and also they say, customer is always right, which is not really true. But no, because a lot of people want their own way. You want your own way too, whatever. But you work around.
Yeah.
You know, you deal with the people, and you're gonna try to make them happy, whatever best ways possible. Sometimes, they're right, and even if you lose some money, whatever, well, that's your reputation. But to be in business, it's a lot of things involved. First, you have to know how much it will cost you to run a store, the size of the store that you have it, whatever kind of the store you open, anything. Because today it's not cheap to run a store. How much will cost it to all the expense, electricity, rent, insurance, telephone, everything. You have to know that to start with. If you have 1,000 square feet, you have 2,000 square feet, then you have to know pretty much how much will cost you to run it, and to how much business you have to do just to pay for the overhead of the store to keep it open. That you have to know. Then you got to be very disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Because as well, you think you open the door, you're making money. That's all I can do. Many times I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I went to the store. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go to the store. And even now that I'm 83 years old, I still get up at times, a holiday, 4 o'clock in the morning, go to the store. Because you have so many hours of holidays, you have to know how long it will take you to make it. You can as well, I go to 8 o'clock. You can't do that. Because you don't have the time to do. If a business that week will triple, what are you going to do? I mean, you get extra help, but sometimes it's not enough to do. And you have to put extra time. So you're going to be disciplined. It's not a such a thing. Well, it says, I get people who work for me, I can do this. No. You want to succeed, that's how it is.
You have to be the leader.
Well, you have to be a leader, but you have to love what you're doing.
Yes.
You don't love what you're doing, it's never going to work. Remember, anything you do with love, it comes out well. It don't matter how you slice it.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about is that during the last couple of years, especially during the pandemic, a lot of businesses have had to close. A lot of businesses had to change the way that they relate to their customers. How has the pandemic affected your business and the way that you've had to manage your shop?
Well, don't forget, the kind of business we in, because the people that want to go out to eat, and it was much better for us because the people came over, bought the stuff, and took it home. And then I have a wife that she's very smart. She know what to do with the internet, to promote the store. She knows how to deal with people. Well, to be honest with you, if it wasn't for her, if I didn't meet Deborah, probably I would have stopped and I would have quit the business. I would have gone back because I was back on the dance floor having a good time. Which one night did she show up on the dance floor? I never thought I was going to get married again, but you never say never because you never know what happened tomorrow. One night did she show up, Mosley's, and here we are. The rest is history. So we work well together, and of course I still run the store. I'm still doing all the buying, I set the prices and whatever, but she does a lot of promote and all these things. And at the time, the past 2 3 years, my business got better because a lot of people never came to the store. A lot of people used to go out to eat, whatever, but then they came to the store, bought food, and they tasted. And they came back. So from before the coronavirus and now, the business almost doubled because
Wow.
the people came, taste the product.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said to you, you treat with respect, and you're a customer, and that's it.
Yeah, as you say, the quality keeps people coming back, the organization, and the fact that I want to interview you shows that you're a people person. You want to relate to people, and I've always appreciated that.
Yeah, I do. And sometimes I can give you a little break to people or whatever. I always do. That's the way I am. I'm another type of person. So this is the price. As I said, no, I don't work that way. I try to accommodate the people, and a lot of times, which we do pretty much every week, we help some people too. That we give free food because not everybody's lucky like me. I'm 83. I'm still in decent health, and I still can run the store. And I still could do a good business. Some people sometimes they don't have the kind of luxury. And we always give the food away to people.
Yeah, I was reading an article about just that, your contributions to the community, which has been noted in various newspapers in the city of Boston. So that is a testament to your what you just said about your generosity and the goodwill that you have for the community. But you do it because you want to do it, I know.
Julian, I was never greedy.
Mm.
I just wanted to be happy. And I like to do things that makes me happy. How much money you need?
Hmm.
At my age, is the money so important? No. I make enough that I can have a vacation. I'm still eat whatever I want. We have a decent home. How much money you really need? A lot of people can't have that. So that's why I don't mind to help people, which we do with much every week. Doesn't bother me. We do because we wanted to do.
Well, it's just wonderful to hear and wonderful to know that you're making an impact in the community in this way. Now, one other thing I wanted to touch on is that there's sometimes people are eating your products that may not even know that because you supply some of the area restaurants. Can you talk about some of the restaurants that you've been working with over the years?
Well, the one long time customer that buys all the meat from me is Pino's Pizza in Cleveland Circle. They buy sausages, hamburgers, sandwich steak, and this is going on for 40 years.
Wow.
I can say I help them to have a good reputation because they do have a good reputation because I give them the best product. And in Roslindale, I got Dogwood Cafe by the sausages, Delfino by sausages, 753 buys hamburger. So you go there, get a cheeseburger. It's from Tony's Market.
Yeah.
And Sofia Gloro always buy the steaks, sirloin, and the sausages. Joe said to me, it tastes every brand, but no one has come close to Sherman Reserve.
Mm.
And then I think too, see, the fact that I was never afraid to work. I didn't mind to work. And now 59 years in business, I don't think probably I stay altogether with some operations, small operations that I had in my life, probably 1 month.
Wow.
Besides the vacation, sometimes when
Right.
I close for vacation.
Right.
No, I had a cataract down, some operation, I had an hernia down, but altogether, I don't think I stay 1 month away from the store. in
Wow.
59 years.
Wow.
Yes, I love to be there.
Mm-hmm.
1983, September 1st, I was operating my vocal cords.
Mm.
I was supposed to stay, I was a heavy smoker. I was supposed to stay 3 days in the hospital. This was on Thursday morning, I was operated. Friday morning, I was in the store.
Nothing's gonna hold you back.
I said to the doctor, tell me, is there anything else you can do for me here? He says, no. He says, then I go home. I says, what am I doing here? So I went home and, I went a little bit to eat what I could eat because I had the vocal cord, they operated me with the laser. And I went to the store. I didn't get any meat the day, but I did the paperwork. And the next day, 6 o'clock in the morning, the Saturday, I was in the store working. Regular day.
You have given us so many lessons of a good life in many ways, of creating a good business, creating relationship with customers. What would you like to be remembered for when you think about people talking about Tony and your contributions? What do you want people to be able to say about you?
That I was a decent person, an honest, decent person. That's all pretty much. I'm sure you never make everybody 100% happy. I'm sure it's always somebody out there that didn't like me or whatever the reason, but I know myself who I am. Just that I was a good person, honest, because I've always been honest in business.
Well, that has been my experience with you, and I'm so glad to have known you all these many years. Thank you so much in being on Rear View Ahead.
It's my pleasure. And it was a pleasure meeting you because you've been in the store, you've been coming in the store for many years.
Many years.
You said yourself that the best product you ever had it.
I say that all the time, and I actually have suggested your store to many people that are now customers. So the good news about Tony's market keeps passing along. So thank you so much for all that you do.
See, my business is 75–80% they come from outside of Roslindale.
Right.
Come from all over because they test the product and they go on internet and I come up and they come. Once they come in and they test the product, they come back.
Thank you for all you do. We'll be in touch.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.